The first question was, what's your story and how did you meet, or how would you like to tell your story?
We just met through an app. That's it.
Pretty much. We just met through like Bumble,
Okay.
the dating app or whatever. We just get lucky through there. That's mostly how we begin with.
Okay.
And so the first date went overall well. We just hung out at, what was it called?
Round one.
Round one. Kind of like a Dave and Buster's at the mall. That's like out here in the suburbs, and we just like chat, we played pool, we sat, had a couple drinks, and yeah, it just pretty much went great from there. I've been just having a just general like healthy relationship ever since. We try to go out on dates as much as we can. He's still in grad school, I'm still working full time, and so it's just kind of like balancing that out. And now here we are 2.5 years later, and it's still working out well. So
we didn't like actually like know each other's last names until like a month after seeing each other.
Really?
Yeah. One of the things is like we couldn't even like, you know,
He couldn't
go
Facebook
into
stalk
Facebook
me.
stalk each other or whatever. We just kind of like let it go organically, as in like, sure, we had the app that brought us together, but we really just took the just the dates to really get to know each other until we're like, okay, well, oh, you know what, my last name's Alcantara and her last name's Smoot, and then
I was like, let me find you on Facebook.
Mhm.
And so after I like finally, like, it was like one of the days we were out and about having drinks or whatever, and he was like talking about the last name thing, and I was like, let me just look you up on Facebook, we can finally be Facebook friends now that we know each other and such, because I was just kind of like, like I was just like having fun, just enjoying the dates, just like you said, organically, just trying to have a good time. So
Mhm.
Luck, he's nerdy, I'm kind of nerdy, he loves Marvel, I love Marvel, but we also have things that we don't really like about well, I guess not that we don't like about each other, but that we also have differences on. Like, he's into anime, it's not really my thing. He's into all these like video games, TV shows, other things that I'm, like, it's like on a different path than I am. So I think it's just that healthy mix of just like listening, really just also just learning to be vulnerable with one another, learning each other's like quirks, each other's personality, things that he enjoys, and seeing like how like he gets all happy and stuff. Watching like Mandalorian, like you and him can bond over that. So like he really loves watching Mandalorian. Last couple like episodes, he's constantly like, ooh, or like the Book of Boba Fett was basically like the Mandalorian episode that just passed, and he was kind of like, and he was like really happy and excited. I was just like laughing on the side, because I was just like, seeing him excited is just like adorable, very cute for him. So I think it's just, I don't know, I think it's just kind of like just learning to love each other's personality, each other's quirks, imperfections, perfections, like just all those types of things.
And Adam, what drew you to Smoot?
Well, yeah, I think it's just all it was just when it came to the app, like, oh well, she's open to connect, and so we wanted to just talk about it more through that. And one of the things that I saw is like, yeah, she was nerdy, and I guess like I'm very self-conscious about like all the stuff that I like about like my nerdy stuff, and so like knowing someone out there that's also kind of nerdy is just like, okay, they might not be like the same kind of nerd that I am, at least, but at least they'll be more accepting to that. And I guess that kind of brings me to like that one question that you said is like, what do I like about Alexis? And that is that she's very accepting about like who I am and what I like and my interests. And sure, sometimes she'll be like, oh, give me a couple of weird looks of like, what's that? Or like, oh, that's kind of weird. But at the same time, she's just like, at the end of the day, she's very accepting of my interests. And so I can actually be more comfortable around her.
That's so beautiful.
But one of the things I do like about her is just that she's always just open about how she's feeling, and she's very willing to just talk about it. It's not like there's no silent treatment or anything. I mean, yeah, there's times where, you know, like we kind of want to give each other like we want to have our own space, but it's not like a silent treatment. It's just like, I just want my own space right now. Not doing it as a punishment.
Yeah, like just time to like have our own like self-care, relaxation, cool off, you know, after a stressful day or whatever. So just those types of you know, moments where you're just like, oh, I just want to like be by myself and just like watch TV or stretch or exercise or whatever, or shower or whatever.
Yeah, and the fact that we both are like respectful of each other's space is like one of the things I really like about her. And that yeah, she showed me more about like being more forward and being more which I know it sounds harsh, but no, it's I admire that about her.
More or less like direct in like what I want to say.
One of the things that I do like is just that we're always just willing to talk about things. We don't let things kind of fester or so. And so that's one of the, like, yeah, we may seem, you know, like perfect and happy, but it takes a lot of work. Both of us took the time to read the 5 love languages, and it really helped keep it together, because like, especially one of the things that they talk about is just that that couples always go through like the in love phase, but that in love phase will kind of like drown out, and then that after that you have to either choose to love that person or not to love that person. And a lot of people just expect it just to happen, and no, it takes time. And so, you know, I chose to love Alexis, and Alexis chose to love me so far.
So far? God.
But and so, you know, because we made this choice, we make the time to like learn each other's love languages and respect each other's love languages, and also be receptive. And so it takes work. It's not just it happens. It takes work.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of work. I feel like after the love languages, learning that we have almost opposite love languages, and kind of not like completely opposite, but like pretty close. Where just like for all the different categories, like his that were like his highest, or like some of my lowest are in like the medium category. So it was just kind of like, okay, well, now that we know, like, you know, the different love languages, like we can start thinking about, and he kind of mentions in the book how love languages can change over time. And I feel like that sort of happened to us, like in this relationship, it just kind of slightly changed for each other. As well. But I think just like learning about like love languages, learning how to like interact and communicate. I think the key is just the communication aspect of like learning how to communicate like your love to the partner, learning how to, you know, understand your partner's communication as well. Because the way you may communicate is different than the way your partner communicates, like for me and Adam. And so it was just doing a lot of that. And then, you know, trial and error, making mistakes of like, you know, something I personally do all the time. And he's like, well, that's a pet peeve of mine. And, you know, just kind of like talking through it, working it out and finding that balance.